Welcome. This is round 2 of 2015 Turn GT3. That is the ultimateracing.network.com. We're going to be racing around Hockenheim here, 36 laps with one formation lap here and then a rolling start. I'm your host, Ryan McDowell, Siphon68, and joining me in the commentary box is Matt Tucker, aka PTG Mesosphere.
What a great qualifying we've just had. So close, not just at the top of the field, but also in midfield and further down, with LSR Worstman missing out on a Lobby A start by just 9 thousandths of a second. Pole, though, went to LMR Ascari with a 141.121, and LRT Breeze missing out by just 4 hundredths of a second. Third went to GSR Roadrunner, only a tenth behind Breeze, with in-frame rounding out row 2 with a 141.488. LRT Nath is 5th with his 141.543, and FMS Top Secret just missing out by 2 hundredths of a second. Like I said, so close all the way down this field. FOH Eggy taking 7th place with a 141.830, with 8th going to LMR Jaded River with a 141.887. 9th, TLR Madara with a 141.968, and just 2 thousandths of a second, and rounding out the top 10, behind him, LRT Lamb Chop with a 141.970. 11th was Nick James with 141.999, just getting under that magical 142 barrier. Followed up row 6 with LRT Stubbsy with a 142.137. 13th was F4H Xylotta with a 142.172. And 14th goes to F4H Chris Super with a 142.231. LRT Sidewinder with 142.298. And LER Hydro 142.752 round out row 8. And row 9 being FAF Stone Stig and General So. And our back row for this lobby is F4H Devil and XPR Moon Tower, both just inside the 143s.
Indeed, it's going to be very, very close here, and I think we're in for a really, really good race, especially with these Bentleys on pole. They've got tremendous pace, and we're getting ready to start this race, coming into just the final couple of corners here before we go green. It is going to be LMR Ascari on pole. Looks like he's starting to pull away right now. And this race looks like it's go. Okay, now it's go. They're pulling out now.
Stack them up coming
out.
Yeah,
very, very close. We're riding on board with I'm Frame at the moment. Couple running wide at turn 1. That's not that abnormal for the first lap. I don't think there's going to be too much concern about them avoiding collisions there. Very close around the outside is I Am Frame on LRT Nath. Doesn't look like he's going to quite get it done. He tucks back in for the long straight here.
Yeah, looks like Nath got the jump on him off the grid, making up a position coming around turn 1.
Very, very fast down here. I think we're going to see speeds in the 140s before they brake hard for the hairpin of turn 4. We've got the Bentley on the inside there, losing a bit of position. He tucks back in behind the BMW of I'm Frame. That is FMS Top Secret in that Bentley we saw tucking in there. Coming through the tricky chicane here of 7-8, getting ready to turn into turn 9 ahead. It is still LMR Ascari leading this race. Down into Stadium right now. All these top guys so consistent. No major mistakes from any of them yet. And you know, I really don't expect any less from these guys. These guys are all very, very top-notch guys.
Yes, they're all very experienced. They all know how to just keep it clean through these first few laps, let the race settle, and then start pushing from about lap 2-3 onwards once the commotion has settled down from lap 1.
Indeed, it looks like somebody's having a peek just behind. He tucks back in behind FMS Top Secret. I have to see if I can get to grips with some of these liveries that they've got. It does look like I Am Frame is getting very, very close to that LRT Corvette. He runs a little bit wider line out of turn 2. I wonder if the draft, if he can stay in the draft, there should be quite a bit of an advantage down into turn 4, but we know that that Corvette certainly has some legs on it.
Certainly does. It appears he's struggling to keep with him, even with the draft going down that straight.
Absolutely. It looks like the cars behind, including that Bentley, are gathering steam on him there. He's got good positive traction out of the corners, though. But yeah, he must be running a very high downforce setup on that BMW.
Yeah, he's got great traction, and he's very, very fast through some of these bends, but he is going much slower than the nearby competitors. Although that could just be a trait of the BMW. It's always been good in the corners.
Yeah, we're up and on board with GSR Roadrunner right now, who is currently running third in the Bentley, just behind Bentley of LMR Ascari and the Corvette of LRT Breeze in second.
Yeah, it looks like the first three are making a little bit of a gap. Not very substantial. One mistake and that'll be bridged, but it does look like they're just easing off.
I'm not sure, but it actually looks like we might have a retirement. Nick James 123, who's currently sitting 20th, is not moving right in front of the timing car. Just at the exit of turn 1 there.
Yeah. I'm trying to bring up his telemetry. See if he's going to be down. Oh! He's had an off.
Is he collecting quite a bit of damage?
Very big one. It's got working engine, but drive line's out, steering's out. Front half of his car's gone. Yeah, that's definitely going to be a retirement if he doesn't start moving soon.
The battle at the front is so close right now with that LRT Corvette getting a little bit of a sandwich from the two Bentleys there of LMR Ascari and GSR Roadrunner. And he is so close on his tail there. And another Corvette just behind that. And that should be LRT Nath.
The timing control car's rolled into the track. It's got caught by Nick James trying to get himself out. I need to get that out of the way. Yeah, he's trying to get himself back to the pit lane, but he's got no steering, unfortunately.
Good spot on the timing car there. All right, so we are currently on board with F4H Eggy, who is currently running 6th, trying to chase down I'm Frame ahead, which means FMS Top Secret has moved back to 7th. We're going to be looking for as many of these battles as we possibly can. We know that later in the game, there's going to be a bit of a fuel, I wouldn't call it strategy, but a difference of when people decide to come in. And I guess it can play a little bit of strategy if some people are going to do it to dodge traffic.
Yeah, with the race distance as it is, most of the cars are going to be looking for about one stop. I say most. The poor Audi, I'm not even sure that can do one stop with this at this race distance. But most will have a window of about 4 laps, I would think, with which to make a pit stop in and still make it to the end. Looks like a cracking battle here in the midfield as well.
Yeah, absolutely. This is looking really good here. No immediate... it doesn't look like anybody is quite ready to make a move yet, and I wouldn't imagine that this early in the race. A lot of people are still in their stride, still staying focused. I think it's going to be another couple of laps before we start seeing this really heat up, and we have people pressurizing and ducking out from one side to the other.
I'm not sure what's happened, but Roadrunner's moved down to 8th. I've missed that happening. He must have had an off because he hasn't got any damage at all. But he is
no damage. He has gone through about a fourth of his fuel reserves, though.
Yeah, for this stage of the race, that's about normal, I would say. But I think he's definitely had some sort of off or spin, but managed to avoid collecting a wall. There's only a few places on this track where you'd get away with that, probably turn 1 being one of them. Oh, very wide again on my screen.
We're on board right now with TLR Madeira in that Audi. Gets a little bit rough on that exit rumble strip of turn 1, but keeps the car pointed in the right direction. Catching on another LRT, that would be the Corvette of LRT Lamb Chop ahead in what is the battle for 12th.
Yeah, this one's a very intense battle going down at that hairpin.
Which battle is that?
The 12th Lamb Chop, and ooh.
Yeah,
That's
very close.
A lot of
several Corvettes, yes.
Small piece of track.
Looks like the battle just behind is pretty intense as well. Yeah, that's very close. We're going to have a look at that LER Hydro peeking around to try and make a move there. He's in his BMW, and he's getting backed up by the Lamborghini of F4H Xyloto. And LER Hydro is definitely under pressure from F4H Devil and General So behind. You know, I haven't seen any bumps or scraping yet. Fingers crossed here, but this has been a very clean race for one that drivers are really pushing it to the limits because you're not facing the traditional challenges of elevation change or slippery surface. It's relatively grippy pretty much everywhere here.
It certainly is, and being flat does mean that some of the challenges, and it's not that bumpy unless you go near some of those killer curbs, like for instance turn 1 here.
Yeah, especially the exit is very bumpy. The other one is turn 8. If you ride that curb on the exit of turn 8.
Yeah, so a lot of these cars are probably set up not to run those curbs very much because it compromises you on too much of the rest of the track. And it does mean that you've got to be so careful on those corners with running even slightly wide. Just looking to see this battle, but my screen seems to have frozen slightly. Still very close, but the BMWs are really struggling to get alongside that Lamborghini down the straight.
Yeah, I don't know if that was, maybe we just caught it at a moment where that Lamborghini made a mistake and it backed up the field momentarily, because he seems to be pulling away from the BMWs at this point.
We'll soon see in about 3 corners time, because if the BMWs get back to him...
Oh, there he is, upset again. That exit, sorry to cut you off right there, the exit of turn 8, we were talking about those rough curbs, the Lamborghini gets caught up on those and he loses a little bit of time. I mean, it doesn't mean that the BMWs are right on him now, but they certainly made up a little bit of time there.
Oh, absolutely. He's been pushing so hard, and you can see just by how much of various corners he's really attacking.
You know, for being an all-wheel drive sports car in here, the only one that's all-wheel drive, with the exception perhaps the Audi is the other all-wheel drive, I guess.
I'm not 100% sure. I thought the Audi was rear wheel. I might be wrong.
For being an all-wheel drive car, that Lamborghini it can be a handful.
I can tell you from first-hand experience, it really is a handful.
Okay, so we've definitely got another battle here. F4H Devil is sizing up a move on LER Hydro, and it looks like just behind that, it looks like we've got XPR Moon Tower trying to make a move on General So. Let's switch to that one. That's the battle for 17th.
Whilst we're also watching that battle, I've just noticed that I think things are going from bad to worse for Roadrunner, as he's now back in 12th. Has he had a pit stop? No, he hasn't pitted. He's still on the starting set of tyres. So
yeah, that hasn't gone according to plan at all.
Day. Sorry, his name just stood out to me. General So. Ooh, the battle just ahead of him is also very close at the moment.
Indeed, that's the one between F4H Devil and LER Hydro. Very, very close here. Oh, he peeks out to the outside there, tucks right back in, but very, very close for these two. Why don't we ride on board with F4H Devil, see if he can make something happen here in the next lap or two. We've got eyes on really both of these battles happening at once, as these cars are so close together that we get the benefit of seeing the bigger battle. A quick rundown of what the running order is. We've got LMR Ascari leading this race, LRT Breeze in second, LRT Nath has moved up into third after that unfortunate backwards momentum by GSR Roadrunner. That puts I'm Frame in fourth, F4H Eggy in fifth, FMS Top Secret in sixth, LRT Stubbsy in seventh, LRT Sidewinder in eighth, LRT Lamb Chop in ninth, and F4H Chris Supra 10th. GSR Roadrunner is trying to regain ground. He's back up to 11th. TLR Madara also seems to be not faring well here. He's back in 12th. 13th is LMR Jaded River. 14th, F4H Xyloto. 15th is LER Hydro, followed by F4H Devil. That's the battle we're watching right now. General So is 17th. XPR Moon Tower then is 18th. And then we've got FAF Stone Stig in 19th with our what appears to be a retirement, Nick James 123 in 20th. Very, very close here on the exit of turn 8. Is he going to make a maneuver down the inside? He does not make the maneuver here. Maybe here into Stadium. Is he going to... Nah, he doesn't. He just stays right behind him waiting for some sort of mistake to happen from LER Hydro. These cars are so close in performance here. And, you know, their relative pace is so close as well. They're only 0.2 apart in qualifying. Less than 0.2, really. Matt, you seen any other battles we should be focused on at the minute other than this super hot one? Oh, big mistake by LER Hydro. Is it going to allow F4H Devil to get by? No, he doesn't lose any time, but he does definitely slide sideways on the exit of turn 1. And the battle is now closer than ever. He's going to have a good draft here out of turn 3, down into turn 4, the highest straight on the circuit here, highest speed straight on the circuit.
If you're wanting information on other battles around the track, the battle between first and second is very hot. I just caught a glimpse of it then at the hairpin, and the Corvette of Breeze was right behind Ascari as they were going through that. Seems the Bentley gets off the corner a little better, but it's such a close battle right at the front of the field.
Indeed, we're now watching that LRT Breeze hunting down LMR Ascari. It's Corvette versus Bentley. And then just behind that, we've got I'm Frame trying to track down LRT Nath. So that would be BMW versus Corvette there.
Yeah, the action here at the front is very hot, and considering the stage of the race as well, this looks to go all the way to the end. It'll be very interesting as they go through the pit stop phase, particularly. As I'm curious to see whether or not Breeze will stop early to try and undercut Ascari, as he appears in some places to be being held up.
He could be. It looks like Ascari is actually pulled away just a little bit here. I mean, this is all relative, isn't it? Because we're talking about right now they're about 40 feet from each other. Big move from behind. I Am Frame ahead of LRT Nath. He does get third position. We're going to switch to that really quick. He does get it just barely, and oh, he's back behind. So he just swapped there, just swapped places.
Yeah, I caught the edge of that in view, and a super late braking move down at the hairpin, but he obviously braked just a little too late, and
yeah, a little over-under action there. Man, he is right on his tail, though, isn't he? On the inside. just following as close as he possibly can. You don't want to be too close in the event that he does make a mistake. You don't want to follow him out or be sucked out by the air.
Super aggressive behind him.
Absolutely.
Really
Certainly
being held
attacking
up
the
to that
curbs,
section.
yeah.
It looks like the battle for first and second's back on again as well. That small gap Ascari had built seems to be gone again.
Going on 2 wheels is the BMW of F4H Eggy behind there. You can see that. So he's certainly trying to catch this field. He may sense that this is slowing up both third and fourth, and can sort of smell the blood in the water, and wants to catch that battle so that he can sort of share in the spoils.
Or just take advantage of any mistakes made.
Yeah, absolutely.
Although it looks like he may have his own battle in his hand, as there's a Bentley very close behind him as well.
Indeed, that would be FMS Top Secret closing up. He's 6th right now. F4H Eggy is 5th. So several pairs going around the track.
Certainly would appear that way. It's almost like Noah's Ark around here with everyone going 2 by 2.
Right? So we've got LER Hydro still ahead of F4H Devil, if you're wondering what was happened back there. XPR Moon Tower still trying to get ahead of General So for that 15th and 17th place battle back there. Very, very tight action here at the front, especially as they enter the penultimate corner. Is he going to be close enough to make a maneuver down into turn 1? I don't think so, but if he can stay very, very close into turn 1, it's a pretty long stretch down into turn 2. He might be able to make an outbraking maneuver there. He's just going to make sure he doesn't outbrake himself again. Oh, big mistake. Is that LRT Nath? It is. LRT Nath looks like he has made a pretty major mistake in turn 1. Let me see if I can capture exactly what happened here. It was just he caught a tire on the rumble strip on the exit of turn 1 there. We talked about 2 of these very aggressive curbs. That's exactly what happened. It just spun him right around as he tried to use as much track as he possibly could. He gets his back right rear tire popped up in the air and then just totally spun sideways, much to the benefit of I'm Frame, who is now in 3rd place. That also moves up F4H Eggy into 4th.
Yeah, in fact, Nathan's dropped all the way down to 6th, so he's got a lot of work now to do. Other interesting battles further back, the 2 Corvettes battling with Roadrunner of LRT Sidewinder and Lamb Chop. Seems actually like Roadrunner's managed to make it through between the pair of them. And further back they're still doing their 2 by 2. Although, then again, there's a bit of bumping and barging between Madara and I think it's Xylotto going into turn 8.
Let's take a look at that. That is the battle for 13th that you're talking about.
Yep.
So this is Lamborghini.
12th, 13th
this is,
and 14th.
Oh, indeed, it's very, very close. It's Bentley, Lamborghini, Audi. It's all pretty much the same parent manufacturer here duking it out for what is going to be 12th place. LMR Jaded River, F4H Xyloto, followed by TLR Madara in tow here. Ooh, big slide by TLR Madara there on the exit of turn 1. Several people being very aggressive there.
Yeah, I'm surprised. They all know how dangerous that curb is. And we've seen more than one caught out with it already. So I am surprised that they're all being quite so aggressive with turn 1. Particularly, mind you, I suppose in Madara's defense here, he was probably unsighted by the 2 in front on his turn in, and that of course will. Ooh, that was Xylotto going for that move and just
yeah, indeed,
outbraking himself.
Right, and he loses a position for his trouble there. Indeed, just trying to take a little bit too much and got too deep into it. Didn't lose a lot, but he did end up losing a position. But because it's so close, I wouldn't say that I mean, it was a mistake, but I wouldn't say that that really hasn't affected his race terribly.
All depends whether he gets held up now behind the Audi, because there does seem to be a little bit of a gap now going to 12th place.
I would argue that the Lamborghini, you're right, if he gets held up just on straight pace, it'll be a problem for him. But the Audi, big mistake by him. He's off in the grass, comes back on track. I don't know. I mean, I would say that he sort of stayed ahead as a result of that. I mean, not an intentional cut there, but I don't know. He came back on track awful quick, and the Lamborghini is eager to get around. Turn 1 again. Let's see how aggressive he gets. It's the Lamborghini this time that braves the... Lamborghini pulls out to the right side. He's on the inside for turn 2. He's going to try and outbrake him, but that Audi has great brakes. Gets the job done and stays ahead. But the Lamborghini says it's not done. He's around the outside here for turn 3.
Cracking drive off that corner. Absolutely cracking drive. And that Lamborghini is fast in a straight line. I'm not sure about the Audi, but it looks very close.
Audi peeks out to the outside, tucks back in, thinks better of it. You know, honestly, if I were... he looks to the inside. He's going to be alongside him coming out of turn 4 here.
Not quite enough overlap.
Exactly, just not quite a big enough mistake by TLR Madara there, but this is fantastic racing as they head down into what is turn 6. Head into the 7-8 chicane right now.
This battle's definitely holding up the pair of them, though. Look how far the Bentley's just got ahead now.
Yeah, indeed, they were very, very close, and now, you know, you spend more time looking in your rear view than you do looking ahead, and you're going to start losing time. You'll miss your braking points. You'll, forget your turn-in spot. We saw how wide TLR Madara was in turn 1 just the last lap, and he's already made a couple of mistakes this lap.
Certainly has. I mean, this is definitely not helping either of them. Looks like Madara, though, is maybe settling
really
himself
wide there. Really wide there from the Lamborghini. You know, to be honest, that isn't doing any of them any favors going that wide. I don't know that really improves your lap time at all. I mean, it certainly, if you had to stay on track at every possible moment, but it's certainly not shortcutting the circuit by running wide there. He is hurting his lap time, and you can see that by how much further ahead the Audi has pulled from that Lamborghini.
Yes, there could be various arguments made for whether or not extending the track is giving him more momentum down the straight, but as we saw there, it definitely is not helping him in this particular battle. Every time he's gone out that wide, he's lost 3-4 car lengths at least, just on that section alone.
Right, so as we tick over 28 minutes into this race, let's give you a quick rundown on what the running order is. We've still got Elamar Ascari leading this race in his Bentley with LRT Breeze and his Corvette just behind. I Am Frame has moved up into 3rd after that mistake from LRT Nath. F4H Eggy is 4th. FMS Top Secret continues to chase him in 5th. LRT Nath trying to find his way back up onto the podium. He is 6th at the moment. 7th is GSR Roadrunner. He's making good progress moving back up the field after his 2 big mistakes early in the race. We've got LRT Stubbsy in 8th in his Corvette. LRT Sidewinder also in a Corvette 9th. LRT Lamb Chop in 10th. 3 Corvettes running right in a row there. F4H Chris Supra chasing down that pack in 11th. LMR Jaded River in 12th. TLR Madara here in 13th. F4H Zyloto in 14th, followed by LER Hydro, F4H Devil in 16th. XPR Moon Tower did end up getting ahead of General So in 18th, so that promotes him to 17th, with FAF Stonestig in 19th, and officially Nick James has retired from this race. Now, we do see TLR Madara in the pits right now, and we knew he would be one of the first ones to pit because of that fuel economy on the Audi.
It's unfortunate for the Audi that it can't seem to quite do one stop around this track. It seems like just a lap or two short, whereas everybody else, I think, can make it with relative safety. Whilst I just wanted to highlight though, whilst you were doing the position countdown, we very nearly had a swap at the front as Breeze managed to get alongside Ascari. So that battle is red hot, absolutely red hot.
Well, absolutely. We'll jump back to that. The leaders, we see LRT Breeze here still with 12% fuel. So yeah, a big difference between what the Audi can do and what these others can do. We'll see probably race officials adjust that in the race distances for future races. Very, very close here out of turn 3. Is he going to have a run down into turn 4? That Bentley is just, it practically pulls away even with the draft, as you said earlier.
It's just got incredible torque out the corners, the Bentley does. If there's any car that can probably attempt to match it, though, it is the Corvette. It's got a mighty, mighty motor at the front of that car as well, which is probably why this battle is so tight up here at the front.
So we've got 10% fuel in both first and second, so they're probably going to have to pit at the same time unless LRT Breeze is, if I were Elamar Ascari, I would not allow him to undercut me, and I would stay out as long as possible, rather, and just to try and extend my second. If I have to pit again, try and keep that out there. But I think most of these guys are going to be one-stopping and shouldn't need to pit again. But yeah, I wouldn't want to see that LRT released for an open lap still on warmed-up tires. I would want to stay out and stay ahead of him as much as possible. That one bonsai lap could cause a change of position here.
Conversely, he's in a difficult position, really, because I would make the argument I would rather stop earlier as soon as I know I can get to the finish, because that way, technically, you'd have a slightly shorter pit stop. You've got slightly less fuel to put in.
It depends on whether LRT Breeze follows him. If I was LRT Breeze at this point, I might have tucked into the pits just a minute ago when they passed the line. I might have just tucked in there and got some more fuel. For Ascari, I think it makes sense to stay out. If he can stay ahead of the Corvette, if they can pit at the same time, that's optimum for that Bentley, for him to stay ahead. If the Corvette had ducked in just the lap prior, he might have been able to, via the pit delta and what you do on that first out lap, he might have been able to get by the time the Bentley came around, especially since you have to concede. You can't just hold your position as you come out of the pits.
Yeah, you've got to stay to the right of that white line.
So that just gives just a bit of advantage then to the guy behind. So like I said, I probably would have pit, although at this point, so they're at 4% fuel, they're not really going to be able to do another lap. They're going to have to come in this lap.
Oh, absolutely. No, last lap was the time for Breeze if he was going to make that early stop and go to the end. Maybe he wasn't 100% confident in doing the full stint to the end from there. But if he was going to do it for strategy, that lap I would have done whatever the opposite was of Ascari.
So they both come into the pit lane then. So this is, to me, this is the worst case for the Corvette, because he knows for certain that he's going to be behind the Bentley. Now, granted, if he had come in differently, he wouldn't have had the draft. So maybe that's his mentality there, is stay as close as you possibly can, just match the strategy and try and beat him on track. The other one here, GSR Roadrunner, perhaps as a result of pit deltas, has moved up to 4th. I don't think that it is, but we see him up in 4th. LRT Nath is in 3rd.
Yeah, and here they are, first and second, nose to tail again on the pit exit. As you said, worst case for the pits as far as the Corvette was concerned.
Yeah, I might have just done something slightly different to try and give it a go. I think it's noble that if that was his intent, that I want to pass him on track. That might have been his thinking there is stay close and I can keep the draft, I can keep everything.
Yeah, with regards to Roadrunner, now that the pit stops are finished, he's now showing in 7th place. So it looks like it was
just down to pit deltas then, yeah.
Yeah, a couple of people took a slightly earlier stop.
Any other hot battles you can find for us there, Matt?
I'm just having a quick look now, seeing who's... because the pit stop seems to have spread quite a few people apart that were very, very close. So,
I'm going to have a quick look back at LER Hydro, who is running 16th. We may have just got on board just in time to see XPR Moon Tower go around him out of turn 3 down into turn 4 at the moment. Gets the job done with the Corvette, but it's still very, very close here. Moon Tower in 16th. And LER Hydro in 17th in the BMW, the black and gold, or black and yellow DHL BMW here.
Yeah. Other battles currently going on. LMR Jaded River is having a cracking fight with F4H Xylotto. Xylotto just managed to overlap the Bentley then, but not enough to make the pass. Interestingly, Madara seems to have lost a bit of ground to them. He was battling with them
big mistake!
closely.
Big mistake by the Lamborghini. We see him go off in the very last sector there. He gets sideways coming out of Stadium. It is easy to do there. There's several spots that you can get sort of greedy on the curbs, on your acceleration points, and just sort of got it totally crossed up, spun out into the grass, and loses a position as a result.
Yes, luckily he hasn't lost too much time. He managed to almost do a nice 360 there off of in the grass and get back in just behind Madara. Looks like someone went rather late on the pits because they've also all shuffled up after going past the start and finish line an extra position. So I think someone was in the pit lane. So someone running late.
That's pretty impressive that they were able to make it that extra lap.
Yeah, I'm just not sure who it was that's moved, that's done that. Or it might be an Audi that now feels it's safe to go to the end of the race, and so it's got their second stop out of the way. That's the other option it could be.
So we're going to move up to TLR Madara then and see how he's faring in holding off the Lamborghini of F4H Xylotto. He's not really gaining on 12th place LMR Jaded River. As you said earlier, he seems to have lost a little bit of pace. I'm not sure exactly what that is.
I'm just going through here, and I'm showing only 18 runners. Have we had another retirement?
Let me just have a quick look here. Yeah, indeed we have. Travis Gray, that's General So, also retires his Bentley at roughly the halfway mark.
Oh! Lamborghini, I think, just lost it in the stadium section again. He's not having the best of luck there. I think that was Xylotto again.
Yeah, there's a big gap now between Xylotto and TLR Madara, so that makes a ton of sense. He doesn't have any engine damage or anything, and his tires are in a decent spot.
I'm surprised the tires are in a decent spot after that. That was a lot of smoke. I'm just comparing his tires to the people just in front. Well, the Audi was in the pits a while ago, so...
Relatively cold, actually, if the temperature is to be believed, although I don't think that during Spectate, I don't think we get accurate tire temperatures.
No, I don't believe we do. No, because it's flat at 166, that would be undrivable. So, for me, that's what it's coming up as. So yeah, no, that's not an accurate tire temp. But yeah, it was more akin to four-wheel drive drifting the entire last two corners. It was quite impressive.
Right then, so we'll look for another battle here, see if we can't find what's going on. Chris Supra, see if he is gaining any more on those Corvettes. It doesn't look like it. He's got a Bentley starting to chase him down. That's LMR Jaded River with TLR Madara behind him. But there's quite a gap there. I don't think we're eminently looking at a pass.
No, possibly Nath versus Eggy. I think they've actually swapped positions since I last saw them, but that's possibly one of the closest battles going on. Other than I think Breeze and Ascari are still fairly nose to tail.
Yeah, indeed, that would be Nath ahead of Eggy. We saw that earlier when he made that mistake, that Eggy went ahead, and so did Top Secret, so he lost 2 positions in that sort of, or I guess 3 positions in that spin around. He lost a position to I'm Frame, F4H Eggy, and FMS Top Secret.
And they're getting involved in traffic now.
Yeah, indeed.
Because it appears, I think that's Stone Stig. Yeah, it's just been lapped by the first 2, which means that battle for 5th and 4th, 5th and 6th, because the Bentley's actually still really close. It's not far ahead of either of them. Of FMS Top Secret. He's not too far ahead. That's going to get interesting in a bit.
The new boots on that Bentley are certainly working out for LMR Ascari because the gap is bigger now than probably it has been the entire race. There's maybe 800 feet gap between LRT Breeze in 2nd and LMR Ascari in 1st.
Yeah, he's definitely pulled away somewhat. Now, whether that was a mistake or just pure speed on behalf of the of Ascari, or where they caught that lap traffic as they moved through. If Breeze has caught that in a bad spot, like in the stadium section, that could have cost him some serious time.
Yeah, FMS Top Secret then in 4th has got a long way to go to make up 3rd place to I'm Frame. I don't think that's really in the cards unless a huge mistake happens, or he really finds another foot on that accelerator pedal.
He's going to need to get that clean through the floorboards, I think. I think that one's just a little out of his grasp. His biggest priority, I think, is actually going to be 5th and 6th behind him and just making sure they stay back. That, and I've noticed the Roadrunner seems to be catching all of them.
I was just about to mention that on GSR Roadrunner. He does seem to be catching up to the back of F4H Eggy. We'll see if we can't have an onboard with him.
Some extra fun and games even further back with Stubbsy and Sidewinder and Lamb Chop. 3 LRTs, all in a little line. Although, to be fair, in the last corner, Stubbsy's pulled away a little bit, so it looks a little less close than it did a second ago. There's lots of battles starting to form up again after the pits.
GSR Roadrunner, big gap behind him. So he really has nothing, he can just focus ahead. And we talked earlier about what happens when you start looking in the rear view too much. And right now he doesn't have to worry about that at all. He can just focus straight ahead and, you know, think heavy right foot thoughts, you know, just get that foot down whenever you possibly can and stay away from those aggressive curbs. He does do his diligence there to stay away from the turn 1 exit curbs, barely even touching the white line. That's probably the safest route here. Any using of those curbs is kind of risky, whether you get anything out of it or not.
Oh, very much so. And as you said, yeah, it's much easier being the greyhound chasing the hare than being the hare and trying to stay in front of the greyhound. Also, just up ahead, I caught a glimpse of some tyre smoke from the BMW. Seems,
of F4H Eggy?
Yeah, of F4H Eggy. So I think coming out of the first really tight corner, turn 2, either got a little crossed up coming out or a little too much wheel spin, but that will definitely just keep Roadrunner moving in closer and closer. I'd be very interested to see what Roadrunner's lap times are right now, because he seems to have closed in massively in just the last lap we've been looking at him.
So let's take a look at fastest laps at the moment. It would appear, let me just have a quick look through the timing here. I do believe LMR Ascari then just sets a quicker lap just as I'm watching that, a 141.2, quickest lap of the race at the moment. We do have GSR Roadrunner, who is really trying to build as much steam as he possibly can. He's 141.353 at the moment, so he's nearly got race-winning pace here.
And may have even been faster than his qualifying lap. I'm trying to remember exactly what he got. Certainly, a few of these cars are well on qualifying pace.
It's very, very close.
Faster.
Yeah,
He got a 41.2 in qualifying. So, but he is right on the edge for that Bentley right now. In fact, FMS Top Secret is also setting 141.3s. 350, so lap time wise between those four people are very, very close.
that is
Indeed.
fantastic by FMS Top Secret too, isn't it? That has to be faster than his.
I'm just checking his qualifying now.
Yeah, he was
Top
at a
Secret,
141.5.
2/10 faster. 2/10 faster now in race than he was in qualifying.
It's always surprising to see that, isn't it? When drivers find that little bit more pace, chasing someone as opposed to just running sort of their clean air, laps.
Sometimes it depends on whether or not they've been doing a few warm-up laps before the actual race itself. If they haven't done much, then they might just find a rhythm as they're going, as they do more and more laps. I know myself. I
Sorry to cut you off there. We've got F4H Eggy just on the inside into turn one. He's going to cut back, but man, he's just 1 or 2 feet behind LRT Nath. I think we're going to see a move here in just the next couple of corners. Was that a mistake by... I was going to say... He hasn't lost too much time then, but F4H Eggy very, very eager to take that 5th place away from Nath. Sorry, go ahead.
No, just saying, I myself, going back to the qualifying laps, I struggled in qualifying myself just because I am a rhythm driver. I take a while to get up to my fastest lap, so I'm generally faster at race pace than I am qualifying. It's quite possible that maybe Top Secret's very similar in that once he's done 10, 15 laps, he's in the zone, as it were, and finds it a little easier to go and get those stunning lap times that he's obviously capable of.
Right, then, while we're waiting for another, and it's probably going to happen imminently, so I have to stop my thought, I'm sure, but for those of you that like what you're seeing, head on over to theultimateracingnetwork.com to get signed up. You can head over to our forums there. There's still 3 rounds remaining in GT3 even after this. There is one dropped round as well, so you're not totally out of it. And if you want to see some top-notch racing, head on over there, get signed up, get your race number, and find a teammate even. We allow privateers or teams up to 3. Top 2 are scored in the team's championship. While we're on that subject, head over to Twitter and check out all of the news and announcements we have over there. You can follow us there at @turn_media. You can also like us on Facebook /turnmedia1, and of course here on twitch.tv/turnmedia.
Sorry, just looking for battles further down the field. Looks to have spread out quite substantially further back now, which is always a pity from our behalf, but it does make their lives a lot easier.
Very, very close there. GSR Roadrunner does make the pass then on F4H Eggy. He does get ahead on the exit of turn 4. We saw him pull alongside along that long stretch there and just get the job done before the braking zone of turn 4.
Yeah, pulling out those corners, like I say, seems to be the Bentley's strength, particularly. It's got so much low-down torque that just coming off of corners, it finds so much time. Just misses out a little on the absolute top end, but just pulls off a corner so well.
So we're going to be riding on board with GSR Roadrunner right now. We'll try and keep an eye on where the front is. We don't want to miss any action, but right now this is a very, very close battle, and we know that GSR Roadrunner is not immune to making mistakes, so this could be Eggy's position right back. I don't think it's going to happen at the exact moment, but he is right there poised to take it if GSR Roadrunner makes a mistake.
I think they're also starting to approach possibly some lapped traffic in the form of Stone Stig. I'm just checking that now. No, they've already passed him. Just trying to check who the cars close together were just in front of that battle.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, this actually is not that small of a track, so to see this many people be this close is rather telling of how close the skill levels are here in this top lobby of GT3 for round 2.
Oh, absolutely. I've been thoroughly impressed by everyone's driving so far. The fact that we've only had a handful of offs and even fewer bumps and scrapes, particularly between competitors, shows a high level of driver skill on show here.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to check with General So and Nick James to get the full story on exactly what happened that caused their retirements. But again, those are our 2 only retirements at the moment. Let's run through a very quick, we'll just do top 10 running order here. LMR Ascari is in first, LRT Breeze chases in second, I'm Frame tries to catch that group in third, FMS Top Secret then in fourth, LRT Nath is fifth at the moment, GSR Roadrunner up into sixth, F4H Eggy is seventh, LRT Stubbsy is eighth, LRT Lamb Chop is ninth, and LRT Sidewinder rounds out the top 10.
Yeah, very impressed with Team LRT. They seem to be running nose to tail there in 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Yeah, it's definitely a good showing from the Limitless Racing team there.
It seems like just formation work at the moment, although there have been... it certainly would appear there's no team orders between any of them, certainly not at this stage of the championship.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. I mean, if somebody's being held up, you almost have to sort of think to yourself, do I get out of the way and let him try and attack for more points, further up the field? Although once it starts getting down to those last few laps, they're going to be fighting for every position that they can possibly get. Everybody's after that coveted Drivers' Championship, aren't they?
Oh, indeed, and even for those who aren't vying directly for the top, just being able to say I'm top 5 or top 10, it means so much to drivers.
You know, in talking with a lot of these drivers, one thing that we've noticed for those guys that aren't regularly in the top 5, what they tend to do is pick a target early in the season. They'll get a driver or 2 and peg them as their competition for the season, and so then at the beginning of the season, that's their goal, to finish ahead of that person. And so it, does it matter that they can't fight for a win or the podium? No, just pick your competition and make sure you're finishing ahead of that, and constantly working on your qualifying pace and moving that further up the grid with each race. We've got GSR Roadrunner very, very close, goes down the inside, turn 2, and LRT Nath is going to try an over-under here, but I don't think he's going to be able to get it done. GSR Roadrunner takes the position, but we know that Corvette is very, very quick on the straights. I think we're going to see a challenge back here down into turn 4.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if the Bentley can just... Oh, it can. Even with...
Well, he must be running ridiculously skinny wing on that Bentley.
He must be, because that's not its strongest point at that end of the straight.
Goes just a bit wider than the Corvette there. Man, right on the ragged edge, you can see him laying down a bit of rubber there through turn 5.
They're coughing and spluttering away up here. The Bentley strength is definitely coming out the corner, so he must be running next to no aero on the rear of that car to keep ahead all the way down the straight with the Corvette in the tow.
Now we've got 38% fuel left on board with GSR Roadrunner right here, and you know the one thing that I wish we had, and of course we always want more, don't we? But the one thing I wish was present in these Forza games was a factoring of weight. If somebody is a little bit better on fuel, or they're just at a different spot in the race, I'd like their car to actually, you know, lose that weight. Or if they're carrying more fuel because they just came out of the pits, they should be relatively heavier. You know, their brakes should be harder to get right. As GSR Roadrunner proves, he can't quite get it slowed down just enough for turn one there, goes a bit wide and
Whereas
stays
in
ahead.
this case, though, he carried the speed, and if anything, gained slightly over the Corvette. So, hence the argument can be made, does running wide there give you lap time? Yes and no, it depends on how you run wide there, by the looks of things. If you take the curb, or if you get lucky with a curb bounce, it can make you time. If you get unlucky, you'll end up coming out of it backwards.
Yeah, I think though we can see that GSR Roadrunner. Oh man! Oh, he makes a big mistake. Lots of smoke. That's going to hurt him on this rundown. I don't think he's going to lose a position, but that certainly is going to shorten that gap up. And now we see F4H Eggy right there in the mix. As we had, is that FAF that conceded the position there? That was rather expertly done.
Yeah, he just went a little wide around the hairpin, let everybody through, and then joined back in afterwards. And that's how you do it.
That really is. Hats off to you. Man, GSR Roadrunner has backed up this field a little bit, making it a bit of a game for F4H Eggy there. He may be able to just snipe a position from LRT.
Yeah, and if either of the guys behind needed any sort of encouragement, they just got it then, and all that smoke from Roadrunner. That car, like I said, it has a lot of torque.
Oh, have we just had an accident? No, it looks like just a spin out from FAF behind. I saw some rather large tire smoke, a plume go up.
Yeah, it's just it would appear FAF just had a little bit of a spin. I'm just checking to see if he's damaged. No, he's absolutely fine. Got rather a lot of fuel on there. A lot more than I was expecting for this stage of the race.
It could be that with his relative position, it could be that he's actually done a second pit at this point.
Yes, that's true. That's true, whether it be strategic or damage.
So let's take a look at the front here, see if we can predict how much further we've got to go. Unfortunately, none of these guys are broadcasting, so we don't have a great idea of exactly what lap we're looking at.
With 29% fuel stopped probably as late as he could. I'd be surprised if we got much more than 3-4 laps left.
We are an hour into this race, so yes, the end is coming imminently here.
Yes, I would be very, very surprised if it's more than 3-4.
We'll have to see what the gap is from first to second.
I'm wondering whether Roadrunner thinks he's got time to catch fourth, top secret. Identical cars, but he does seem to be making some headway in that gap in the last lap or so. Even with that nearly spin.
Indeed. So it looks like the leader here, LMR Ascari, has about a 6.5 second lead over second place LRT Breeze. So a fairly healthy lead for this late in the race. It would really take kind of a miracle at this point. He'd have to make a pretty massive mistake for LRT Breeze to make up that kind of time in the few laps remaining.
Yeah, he certainly showed a stunning second half of this race where it was really close going into the pits. Since coming out, he's just driven away from Breeze.
As we talk about that, LMR Ascari has activated the nitrous or something, because he just set a 140.980, which is now the fastest lap of the race, faster than what we've seen in qualifying as well. LRT Breeze trying to match that pace, but can only currently manage a 141.182. So very, very close to his his qualifying time, we see GSR Roadrunner also looking for pace. He's being pushed to a 141.034, so he's also very, very close to getting into those magical 140s.
Yeah, that would explain the leap in towards TS to top secret. Further back down the field, that LRT train's got a lot closer since I last saw it.
Going even further down through the field, we see the effects of poor fuel economy out of that Audi. I know that we made an adjustment to try and appease some of the pit gaps, but it hasn't worked out for the Audi. He is 17th after his second pit.
Ouch. That's got to be painful. Madara qualified well and having to run down now in 17th. Whether he's made some mistakes, I couldn't say, but he's one of a very few people who's had to make 2 stops. I think only a very small handful made them.
Just those, I think, involved in the lap 1 incident. So we're talking about Stone Stig, I believe, was caught out in that first lap stuff, or right at the start. So he had to make 2 pits as well, I believe. GSR Roadrunner trying to chase down FMS Top Secret here for 4th. It might be possible by the end of the race. Any more calculations on what lap you think we're on?
Checking fuel economy now. Most of these cars are doing 5% per lap. So, for instance, I'm currently on my screen on board with LRT Nath, and he's showing 19% fuel.
So we've got to be just 2 laps or so remaining.
Yes, because with 5% per lap for the Corvette, that would be a maximum of 20 laps. I think they stopped on lap 19-ish, along with everybody else. So
I think only one person was able to make it out to that 20th, and that could have been FAF making it to 20th after coming into the pits.
And I'm here with Nath, and I think he might just... Oh, no, he hasn't quite... Sorry, Eggy, right behind him, is all over him. Absolutely all over him at the moment. Nearly got into turn 1, but didn't quite get an overlap. So dropped behind him now, heading into turn 2. Very different lines around turn 2. As they come out of there.
To be this close after an hour of racing is pretty impressive stuff.
I'm not sure these two have been further apart than this all race, to be honest.
It has been very, very hot the entire race, and good showing from both of these guys.
Very good showing, very good showing. The battle between the Bentleys seems to be about to kick off. I hope they've got one more lap. Well, for Roadrunner, I hope they've got one more lap. It would be nice to see a battle there just before the close of this race. As they are both nose to tail now going through, I think that's turn 8 into the stadium complex.
That'd be turn 9. The stadium is turn 10, so you're right, though. They're very, very close. And, you know, Top Secret has been able to run pretty much this entire race without having to look in his rear view. We'll see what happens under pressure. Man, he is so close now. The race is not over, so they've definitely got another lap to go. He heads into the pits. FMS Top Secret has to go into the pits with just a couple of laps to go.
I was just going to say, he's about to run dry. He's got 3% left in the fuel tank.
He would not make it another lap. GSR Roadrunner running wide yet again on exit there. Nobody around to really take that position from, but wow, a big shocker there as FMS Top Secret was running so well, but just couldn't manage the fuel straight there to the end.
No, he must have stopped early as a strategic call versus the people around him, but obviously maybe a lap too early.
Geez, that has dropped him all the way back to 10th at the moment.
That is painful. I'm gutted for him. Gutted for him.
I gotta imagine that this is the last lap.
Yeah, most are now running at just under 10% fuel. the Corvettes that I'm looking at right now are running 10% exactly, so this has got to be the last lap.
So we're very, very close to race finish here with LRT Breeze in the stadium section right now. And again, that gap doesn't look like if anything, it looks like it's gotten just a little bit bigger with LMR Ascari ahead.
Yep, that would be the last lap.
That is the end of the race there. LMR Ascari does take the win here at Hockenheim. LRT Breeze will pick up second.
And a brilliant run from in frame to take the last spot on the podium.
Indeed, that was fantastic driving from him, keeping the pressure on LRT Nath to force that error there on the exit of turn 1. We saw that, spun him right around. He lost 3 positions right in a row. What a fantastic showing here by all these drivers.
Eggy just before the line. I think Eggy got him.
Did Eggy just take 5th from Nath?
Yes. Just before the line, I think. I flicked over to it just as they were crossing it, and
he absolutely did. He absolutely did. It would have been just, fractions of a second, as our timing shows exactly the same 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 40 seconds for both drivers. You can already see that LRT Nath's automated control has actually passed Eggy again, but
Indeed.
That doesn't mean Eggy loses the position. So we'll walk through here real quick and look at some of the positions as some of the drivers continue to finish out their races. We've got LMR Ascari again winning this race by roughly 5 seconds here over LRT Breeze and his Corvette. I'm Frame then finishes another 6 seconds behind that. GSR Roadrunner is 4th. F4H Eggy is 5th. LRT Nath is 6th. Again, we talk about how close that battle was between Eggy and LRT Nath for 5th. LRT Stubbsy then does take 7th. LRT Sidewinder is 8th. LRT Lamb Chop, this whole just train of Corvettes comes through in 6th through 9th. So that's
this.
What's that?
XPR Moon Tower ran out of fuel just before the line.
Oh no! Is he able to bump it? Is he
someone hit him across the line, so he is across now.
Oh man, that's terrible.
But yeah, it's now under AI control. Must be because it's thoroughly destroyed.
Let's continue going through the order here. LRT Sidewinder then is 8th. LRT Lamb Chop is 9th. FMS Top Secret. As a result of that second pit, he had to finish 10th there. F4H Chris Supra puts his Z4 in 11th. LER Hydro then is 12th. LMR Jaded River 13th. F4H Devil 14th. F4H Xyloto 15th. TLR Madara moves up to 16th as a result of XPR Moon Tower's unfortunate running out of fuel there, so he finishes 17th. And FAF Stone Stig is currently on track trying to finish out his race, but he will take 18th here. And then we've got our 2 retirements, General So and Nick James. Sorry to cut you off there, Matt. Go ahead.
I was going to say congratulations to everyone who took part here. That was some great driving, very clean racing as well. Super impressed. Impressed. I'm
sure that several drivers wish that they could have done better than what they have, but for us watching, this has been a great race full of excitement. It certainly wasn't predictable, wasn't a parade, and I'm going to be interested to see what these drivers do when we go to Catalunya just after the first of the year.
That's going to be a really interesting track. A lot of tight corners, but that straight, it's huge and cannot be underestimated as an overtaking opportunity. So how they set their cars up for the next race is going to be very, very interesting to see.
Yeah, absolutely. So just gathering some results here. Hats off to our podium one more time, and that's LMR Ascari on the top step, LRT Breeze in second with his Corvette. I'm Frame, a very impressive drive in that Bentley. So 3 steps on the podium, 3 different teams, 3 different manufacturers, and all in the 140s and 141s. Very, very quick race from them. Guys, you know, I can't express enough how exciting it was to announce this race, and we'll see you just after the first of year when we go to Catalunya, the Grand Prix circuit, as these drivers face off again. Thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, thanks for watching. See you then.